the Brexit talks on the brink of collapse.
The PM convening his cabinet in London.
Is there any further room for compromise?
He'd have rather been breakfasting in Berlin, Brussels or perhaps Paris, finalising a Brexit deal. But his offer to the EU trashed. A 30-minute phone call between Boris Johnson and the German Chancellor did not go well. A number 10 source saying Angela Merkel believes a deal is overwhelmingly unlikely. And going further, saying the EU didn't seem minded to strike a Brexit deal on Mr Johnson's terms ever. So is that it?
Absolutely not. No, we've got an offer on the table to them. It's a very fair offer. It carves Northern Ireland out for the single market, but keeps Northern Ireland in the customs union. We think that's perfectly fair and the right way to go for the United Kingdom.
Mr Johnson keen to show the President of the European Parliament his plan is the right way too. Any point in still talking? But in reality, hope's fading fast for a thumbs up from Brussels. The two sides still miles apart.
The fact
is that Boris Johnson's repeated that he would like a deal. I invited him to present proposals that are workable and are not just ideas like the ones listed in the past days. Those are not a deal.
Crazy hand.
With talks stuttering, the blame game in full flow. On the one hand, the government says it still wants a deal, while on the other, unnamed Johnson allies are trying to pin looming failure on the EU. Labour says the government aren't playing straight.
The government put proposals on the table that were never going to work. They were designed to fail. And instead of reacting and changing their proposals, they're now collapsing the talks and engaging in a reckless blame game.
This minister updating MPs on no-deal preparations, trying to pin it all on Labour.
Faced with the delaying, disruptive and denying tactics of the opposition, we say on behalf of the 17.4 million, enough, 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 we need to leave.
Officially, the UK and the EU aren't quite ready to fold on these talks, but to all intents and purposes, it's game over. This negotiation now dead in the water. And number 10 are now trying to shift the blame onto someone else, onto Parliament, the EU, even the courts, anyone but Boris Johnson, as they lay the groundwork for a vicious people versus the establishment general election.
Black Rod!
Parliament suspended again tonight, but MPs will return next week. Boris Johnson will set out his domestic policy agenda, but the real issue facing this Parliament is Brexit alone. The battle between no deal versus a Brexit extension entering the endgame. Beth Rigby, Sky News, Westminster.